Hey, Scar Not Song, this is Rodney G. Thank you for being with me. And it is Friday, so we're going to go back to the questions today. And I thought, yeah, I'll get this done today. And then I'm looking at the questions. I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen, but we're going to do it until we get it done because I like it. I think I think there's some deep questions that chat asked me. So if you're new, then maybe you're like, what the hell are you talking about? So let me get you a little bit caught up. Okay. I'm not going to get you fully caught up, just a little bit. So what I did was the other day I had some issues because my computer cord had finally died out because I was being cheap plus just procrastinating, probably more than cheap, about getting a new cord. And I finally got my new cord. So my computer is fully powered and it is breathing like a dragon right now. It is purring like a kitty. So what I did was I went and uploaded ChatGPT and had it to act as if it was interviewing me just because I needed to really just figure out what I was going to do for that episode because I was so discombobulated that I couldn't figure what I'm going to do. So I came up with this brilliant idea, like I am, and had chat interview me. So now, being the smart guy that I am, I'm dedicated to this interview, and it's a little longer than I thought. So I outsmarted myself. See, that's what happens. You think you're smart, you outsmart yourself. I guess it's not a bad problem. So that's what I'm doing. Now I got you caught up. Don't fall behind again, please. Don't fall. You got to stay with every episode, Monday and Friday. So no excuses. For those of you listening, thank you. And man, like my international range is picked up. There's places I can't even pronounce that picked up. Germany staying tight. Like Germany's listening. And then there's a couple other countries, and you slipped in my mind right now, and I apologize. I got to look at it. Indonesia, I think it is. Indonesia, I think is sticking tight too. So some of y'all have been very tight, like almost from day one. So that's appreciated. Of course, America's been staying heavy in it as well, which that should be the case. But yeah, Germany's pretty close though. I mean, believe it or not. So this is it. Let's go ahead and get started before it be another like 45 minutes. And I gotta shave my head. For a bald guy, I'm gonna give you personal, right? Like y'all my buddies now. We've been together for a while. And you've heard more things than me shaving my head at this point. But to let you know, like if you're from like another country and you're like, who's he talking about? Like, go and look it up. So right now, like my head's like George Jefferson, right? Go look it up because you're like, who's George Jefferson? Not Washington, although I guess you get the same ideals with less curls. But George Jefferson, that's what it looks like. Hair on the side, bald on top. You know, if maybe your internet's a little weak in some countries, I don't know. And yeah, so I just throw on a ball cap and call it a day. And now I'm like, this is getting a little ridiculous. I got a little face of hair, and I don't particularly like that. Got a little gray coming in. I'm getting distinguished too. All right, so it's time to kind of shave that off. And I don't want that to be all day adventure because when I shave, I got to do all these special things to try to look pretty. Now I'm losing you because you're like, I don't care. So let's get it moving. So I think I left off. I was headed to the transplant stage. Let me get caught up here. I put it up. Oh yeah, because I was like the funniest moment. Got it. So chat got me to the second section 3, and this section is called the transplant that changed everything. Question 8, chat asks, Take us back to the day you learned a kidney was available. What was running through your mind? Uh, well, let's do this one. I mean, there was two times, remember? So the first time, yeah, it was available, but then it wasn't because it wasn't a viable kidney for anyone. Um, I'm a person that tries not to get my hopes up too well, which it drives my wife absolutely crazy. Now she's messing up my show by saying, "Honey, hold on one second." Man, then I'm back. Oh, I don't know how this is gonna work out. You're probably gonna get like a little break in there. So here we go. We have a little universal sign, and I have like a little foot thing. It won't make sense to you because I had to have like I got flat feet, so I got these house shoes that are made for people with no arches. And so they have these little sample ones to see if you get your fitting right. So it has a little hole in it. So I put that on the door handle. It's kind of like that sock in college where your roommate's about to get um, buck nasty right in the dorm room, and then you got to put the sock on the door to tell them you better go back to the cafe because you still got like 1 second left. Right, that sock. So but I don't have a sock on the door. I have the shoe thing. And she's in the office, and apparently she didn't see the heads up. And she's just yelling across the room my name to get my attention, throwing off my show. So I apologize. So if there's any weird skipping and then starting again, that's what happened. Okay. And now I got a deadline to get that haircut. Well, I shave it myself, but I got to look at pretty. So now I got a deadline. So I'm going to be moving quicker than usual. So let me see where I'm back at. So take us to the back to the day you learned the kidney was available. Yeah, the first kidney was not available, even though we thought it was, and it wasn't available for no one, even though I was like third or fourth in the list anyway. So chances were great that that wasn't going to happen. If we're going to refer to the second time, absolutely. You know, it's kind of a aha moment. It's kind of like this is about to happen, and then everything kind of speeds up to 100 miles per hour, and you don't really have time to think. Although, because I had a live kidney donor, you have more time than with a cadaver kidney. Um, but I was prepared, so it's just all the thoughts about, you know, are you going to die on the table? Are you going to get sick? Is it scary? Is it going to work? Is it going to fail? You know, this is great. So you have all those type of emotions happen. Question 9. Transplant is hope and fear wrapped together. What surprised you the most in the months after surgery? What surprised me actually the most after surgery was like I wasn't in heavy pain. I thought I'd be in a lot worse pain. There was discomfort, right? Like serious discomfort. But pain wise, I wasn't, to me, it wasn't horrible. So I was amazed with that too. But I was also amazed how quick like you get moving and that you want you to go and start kind of getting a little more physical, but be careful as well. So, in a number of appointments, kind of, I knew they told me, but once you're getting in the car every other day and going to these appointments and getting blood drawn and just looking at your arms, literally it looked like I was like a heroin addict with all the holes in my arm just from the testing. So I guess the process was kind of surprising as well. Number 10, you've also endured rejection episodes, something outsiders rarely hear about. How did you keep yourself grounded through those moments? Really, I just kind of relayed on my faith, you know, and then family and friends around. Uh, it's definitely all that. Even today, when I have to go and do blood work, or if they want like right now, I got to do like an ultrasound to get it set up, and so that's always concerning because you never know what they're going to find and what you're going to get. Because sometimes you could feel good, but once they go internal and start seeing things, it could show differently. And then you hear it. So those moments still kind of makes me nervous and apprehensive about going just because you don't want to, you manifest it kind of like the bad news until you get the good news. Um, so that's why the mindset's really I really work on the mindset and try to be present in the moment when I start having those negative thoughts. Let me see how many got here. What time is it? 10 minutes. That's usually my time to go. I'm going to try to get it done. I'm probably going to end up looking like George Jefferson at the end of this. Okay, so section 4. One thing you say often is if you wake up, you have a purpose. Comes from a deeply lived place. When did that belief crystallize for you? Crystallize. Ah, that's pretty cool. That belief actually have been with me way before I even started the podcast. Well, when I decided to do my life coaching, I would say probably 2000. It was 2018. I had started. I finished the course or so, and then I was thinking. I had actually created the business, and then my motto was that: is if you wake up, you have a purpose. And I thought of it one day, and I just loved it and ran with it, and I keep it with me. Because if you wake up, you do have a purpose. And some of us think we wake up, we don't have nothing. And I even question my own purpose sometimes, especially not having a job. Like all these years, I'm like, what's going on? And you're like, what's my purpose? You apply for it. Like I recently applied for a job and they said, oh yeah, we got your resume. Well, I haven't heard anything. And it takes forever. So you never know if they're going to call you up or what. So, but there must be a purpose. I'm still here. I'm breathing. How did your kidney journey change the way you see yourself as a man, a father, a coach, a survivor? I think it made me lean on people that I normally wouldn't lean on before. Just as my son in the early days of it, because he was older, but he was able to drive. I don't drive, so those appointments he was able to take me when he could, and he definitely made it a priority if he was able to. It was to get me to the appointments, and that was pretty much after the surgery. Most of the time I was able to get myself there. It changed, it just changed the way, I guess, in some ways, it kind of questioned my manhood because I was more dependent and for a while there, and I wasn't able to work and still kind of question it because I'm still not employed and I'm going to appointments like every week. I'm still going to at least one appointment because I can't get my cumin levels right for the blood thinner. And I'm just thinking, like, if I had employment, how would that work out that I got to go to these appointments still? I have one at the end of January. So it's just really trying to change the plans I had for myself, I would say. And this is the last one I'm going to do because I got to shave this head off. My head off, my hair off. Take my head off with it. In section 4, this is where we're at. This is what I've been reading, Reinventing Purpose After Survival. So in case you was wondering. And the final one for section 4 is question 13 chat came up with. And it says, people imagine the finish line is the transplant, but what does life after transplant really look like? After transplant, it is, I would say, like 85% normal. If normal was your life before kidney disease. And maybe some people haven't had that normal. Maybe normal's been kidney disease. But for myself, I would say, the biggest change is taking the medications, making sure you have medications available, hoping that between the wife and I that the insurance doesn't fall through. Insurance is a deadly trap, right? If you cannot get your insurance in some way or another, you're in trouble. And there's so much time in between approvals, and it's just insurance makes so much of a difference if you have it or not. Um, so I think it gets back to my normals, you know, whatever your normal is. So life looks a lot brighter. There's no tubes. You're able to go freely. Uh, you have diets that you need to watch out for, but you had to do that on dialysis as well, and you have a much liberal diet. Um, so that's what I would say. And you know what? I'm gonna finish it off. Not right now, but I'm gonna finish. Yeah, we only have two more sections, so I'm gonna finish that off on Monday, and then, oh my lord, I'm gonna have to remember where I left off with the regular show, so we could get through that as well. But I think this is kind of cool. I think it gives me a little more insight and gives you insight as well. Because I tell my story, but I'm telling a story. I'm not really telling it from Q&A section or sessions, I should say. All right, I gotta go. I got you in my head. I'm probably gonna wouldn't that be some stuff if all of a sudden, like, I'm not meeting the deadline and I'm halfway through. I'm running out like Mr. T instead of George Jefferson. If you're not familiar with Mr. T, look it up. Look it up. Mr. T. But right now I'm looking like George Jefferson. Look that up too. All right, Scar Not Silent, thank you for being here. I will see you Monday. Have a great weekend. I will be, don't know. Don't know what I'll be. I know it's probably busy. And if you wake up, you have a purpose. Bye.